Hi everyone. Welcome to today's session, which is on how do you convert your WAT-GD-PI calls. So, over the past 15 days, the CAT results have been out. The other exams like IFT, SNAP, ZAT, either results have been out or the scorecards have been shared. So, more or less, you have an idea as to where you stand, whether you are looking at the GDPI season this year or not, and so on. So, keeping all that in mind, and given that most of the interviews will be happening towards the March month or maybe Feb end, March month, or maybe early April, it's very important that right from now you start getting the secret on how you can convert your WAT GDPI calls. So this session is brought to you by me, Nilanjan Dutta, a CAT-100 percentiler and one of the topmost educators on Unacademy and Unacademy Plus for the CAT and the MB exams segment. So this is a brief about myself, and at the very onset I wanted to inform all of you about the GDPI Personalized Mentoring Initiative by me being a CAT-100 percentiler. A lot of you have been requesting for personalized mentoring, which would include things like mock PIs, framing answers to some of the key questions in GDPI, framing answers that are relevant for your profile, helping you in the form fill up, helping you with GD tips, checking the GD topics that are important, checking your WAT essays, and so on. So all of these are part of the GDPI personalized mentoring in addition to the regular sessions that we will be having. Also, for those of you who got calls from any of the top B schools, getting to connect with alumni or current students of that B school, or those people who had called or converged from that B school to guide you in the next phase, is something that will be part of the GDPI personalized mentoring initiative. So what do you do to avail this? To avail this, all you do is go to Unacademy Plus, that is unacademy.com/plus, and here you'll find the 3-month subscription. Note the GDPI season is from now until April mid, so opt for the 3-month subscription and use the discount code Nilanjan Dutta while subscribing. Note, the GDPI personalized mentoring will only be applicable for those candidates who have opted for using a discount code Nilanjan Dutta subscribing. So do make sure that you are confirming by sending me across the confirmation of having subscribed to Unacademy Plus using my discount code to avail the personalized mentoring service. So all you do is go to unacademy.com/plus as soon as possible, subscribe. Remember, you have to subscribe to a 3-month subscription and you have to use this code Nilanjan. Will also give you an additional discount. Along with that, you get the personalized mentoring, which includes all these features that is essential for the GDPI thing, guidance regarding filling up answers that are relevant for your profile, getting your essays checked, getting your interviews scheduled, getting to help you interact with alumni who are from the B school that you have calls from. All of that comes in as add-ons. But remember, for that you have to use the discount code Nilanjan Dutta while subscribing. Then only you'll be eligible for the personalized mentoring initiative. It's available on unacademy.com/plus. For those of you preparing for CAT-20, the most recommended option for a 12-month subscription. Even if you're going for a 12-month subscription, you can use the discount code Nilanjan Dutta while subscribing. For those of you looking at only the GDPI and make sure you're going for a 3-month subscription, use the code Nilanjan Dutta subscribing, and then you can avail the personalized mentoring initiative, which includes each of these features. So let's get started with some WAT-GD-PI Pro tips. The most important thing is that usually across the 3 rounds, what they do is they usually assign you to a particular panel. So understanding what the panel wants and impressing the panel is of paramount important, because that is what will affect your scores. The first thing that is most important is what are the qualities that the panel seeks in the WAT-GD-PI phase. The first point and the sole importance of having a GDPI program is this. Note, all of you who've got calls have already scored well in the aptitude exam, that was the entrance test. So already you've proven your worth in the aptitude. You've also proven yourself as far as ACADS, because that has already been taken into consideration while the process happened. But what has not been taken into consideration is what are the reasons why you want to do MBA? Is it just because you have good ACADS and you did well in the aptitude exam that you've got a call? Is it just because everybody's applying for CAT, you applied for CAT? Or is it that there's a genuine long-term vision that you have in mind, which you believe an MBA will help you in? Remember, it's all about what you've done in the past, where you are today, what you want to do in the future, be it the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and then understanding how MBA forms that bridge in helping you move on from where you are today to where you envision yourself to be in the future. Remember one thing, an MBA is not a stop-start arrangement. It is not a place where you totally forget your past, erase your past, and you start a new future. No. It's about talking about your past, what learnings you've got, and how you look to enrich that using an MBA program. The next important thing is a well-balanced academic and a work profile. While academic is usually evaluated on the basis of 10, 12 graduation marks, they'll also be looking at asking you a couple of questions they might ask you on your graduate discipline, because often what they do is they put all the people in a particular graduate discipline on a particular exam, a particular interview panel, or a particular interview slot. So in some of the panel, what they do is they purposely intentionally keep somebody who's knowledgeable about the graduate discipline in as one of the panel members to grill you on the academic standpoint. So be careful on that front. The other thing which is more important is what are your learnings from your WorkX. The reason why this is very important is a lot of people take their pre-MBA WorkX very unseriously, and that is the audience that B schools want to weed out. Remember, at least in front of the panel, you should be able to talk well about a company. Do not speak low about the kind of work you do. Like a lot of people, what I've seen is they speak very lowly about the kind of work they do on a day-to-day basis. Remember, if you're speaking lowly about the kind of work you do, then automatically the interviewer has no choice but to give you a poor score on your work profile. So avoid doing that. Make sure at least the work sounds interesting and it is something that can convince any layman from any other field as well to get a basic understanding of the kind of work you do. The third thing that they're looking for is whether you're somebody who can be placed at the end of 2 years. And this is one of the reasons why they give emphasis on the GD as well, because remember, at the end when it comes to placements, everybody must be able to crack the GD process, which is part of most of the company's selection criteria. So it's important that you're able to speak and articulate out your thoughts. Also, given that you have to do a lot of assignments and so on during the course of the B school, it's important that you're good at written communication as well, and you're good at articulating your ideas, which is where the WAT comes in. So both the GD and the WAT play importance. Also, people who have studied throughout their college and have had a decent work profile and can speak about it well will always be preferred, because remember, the same people can later on and go and speak about experience in front of the interview panel a few years later. Having said that, a lot of you might talk about what if you're interested in entrepreneurship. It's very good if you can talk about entrepreneurship, but in that case, make sure that you can justify your interest in entrepreneurship. At least show some instance from your past which showcases that you have that entrepreneurial bent of mind, showcase that you have following the latest startups that are happening today, what are the challenges they are facing, what is the future, and so on, so you can at least speak about entrepreneurship. Similarly, you should be knowing about how an MBA can help you in and entrepreneurship. Because remember, a lot of times what a question that is asked, or at least I asked in my mock PIs, is how many MBAs do you know who are good entrepreneurs? And that is when a lot of people suddenly go blank. Because most of the names that we know, conventional entrepreneurs, were non-MBAs. So it's very important that you know how an MBA helps you become a better entrepreneur. The next thing which is important is, remember, in a particular day, the panel might be taking 10-15 people in the same panel who are giving interviews one after another, and it might happen that the same panel has two slots, a morning slot and a post-lunch session. So it's very likely the panel will get bored of the interviewees who are coming in towards the end of the each slot. So it's very important that you come across as somebody who is interesting, engaging, and different. Unity with that one who's standing out. Remember, the average conversion ratio is 1:10. So out of every 10 people, you need to select one. In certain cases, it may be maybe because of the waitlist movement, it might go down to 2 out of 10. But still, the odds are much against you. So you've got to be that person who is standing out with something unique to offer that will add value to the overall batch. The next one, which is also very important, is somebody who knows what before or after MBA. So if you are saying that you're interested in finance, they would like to know that whether you have a basic understanding of finance. And the question is, how do I know what happens in finance because I've not done it yet? At least what you can do is go to LinkedIn. Go to LinkedIn, whichever profiles you are interested in, just go and go search. For example, if you got a call from, let's say, Institute DEF, you got a call from Institute DEF, and there you want to talk about finance. At least go to LinkedIn, search Institute DEF, search, look up their placement report, search some companies in the finance domain, and then on LinkedIn go and search DEF and maybe the company name. So if let's say the company's name is PQR, so search DEF PQR. So what you'll get? You'll get some search results of people who've studied in college DEF and are working in PQR. Now just go through their work profiles. They'll always will have articulated what exactly the kind of work they have been doing over the past few years. Look at the career progression, look at the kind of work they've done. Also in the right pane, you'll find similar profiles coming in. So look at those and you'll get an idea. It doesn't matter whether it's finance, marketing, operations, product management. It's just important that you've gone through at least 15-20 such people's profiles and you have an idea that what is the domain you're talking about. If you're talking about HR, you should be knowing about the various career prospects in HR. What are the kind of work? So in the interview, you can talk about it. You can talk about the fact that you know about how HR career progression is, the various aspects in which they work in, the challenges that lie in their work, and then you can talk about it in your interview. In fact, you can also send in connection requests to some of them. I'm not saying that all of them will accept your connection request and talk to you, but at least a few will, and that'll give you some perspective on the B school as well. The other thing we are looking for is somebody slightly optimistic and yet is well grounded. It also means that you need to show some enthusiasm on the particular B school. So they're asking you why Institute DEF. You should be able to say about some successful alumni of DEF, some particular initiatives of DEF which makes it stand out from other B schools. And for that, how do you do it? Simply go to the website of the B school because they would have already advertised reasons for students to join, and the same reasons can give you an indicator as to why you believe that a B school is perfectly suited for you. Next, we'll move on to one-on-one topics. In case anybody have no other questions. So in the WAT, what is important? The first thing is structured writing. Structured writing, your writing should have a structure. I'm hopeful that all of you have gone through editorials of newspapers, and I hope you have, because that is very important. Because what editorial does is they give you an idea as to how you introduce a topic at the start. First paragraph is about introducing a topic. Then you go into the various aspects of the topic that you want to discuss on. Then in the subsequent paragraph, you touch upon each of these aspects, and then finally go into a concluding one where you provide your opinion. Remember, in both WAT and GDs, providing your opinion is very important. Not about just talking about what is for and what is against. It is also important that you voice your ultimate opinion, overall opinion on the topic, so that the person who's interviewing you knows that, okay, fine, this is what this person's take is on the given topic. Flowery English, not required, but sentence construction proper, that should be in place. Flowery English is not an essential need, but sentence construction in place is a must. It shouldn't be like you're out of touch with proper English. So even if you are not very good, well versed with writing and reading English, make sure that you're able to brush that up in the next 1 month. The simplest way would be take out 30 minutes of your time, and all of your friends who've got called every day, be it in college or after office or something, just get 30 minutes together where maybe 15 minutes you'll try and do one GD between yourselves, and then for the next 15 minutes you'll try and write an essay on a different topic amongst yourselves, and you get it relatively checked with feedback. So what I'll do is, over the next 2 months, you'll have been done with 50-60 topics for GD, 50-60 topics for WAT, which have been a very good experience. Also, in a number of times in a GD, you'd have learned something new from your other friends. The next thing that is important both for GDs and in WAT is facts and figures, because this gives an indication that you're good with current affairs, should automatically give an assurance that they do not need to bother you about current affairs again in the PI round. So the more facts and figures you have, the better. But make sure you're giving correct facts and figures. Don't try to bluff too much, because remember, the panel can at any point of time, if they feel a doubt, they might go ahead and check using a laptop or mobile, and they might want to verify it, and if they do and they find it's wrong, it might go against you. Don't write something which is extremist. Avoid extremist writing. While I'm saying, yes, taking sides is fine, but don't make your essay absolutely extremist, because remember, no way should you be hurting the sentiments of the panelists, because remember, the same panelists will be interviewing you again in the PI round. So don't do something that might hurt one person in the panel. And given that this year is already a sensitive year in the political and economic space, with people having different opinions, it's important that you don't come up with an extremist line of thought. In a GD or GE, there are a couple of other things. There's group dynamics involved. So you should be somebody who's making more frequent entries. Also, be among the first 3-4 speakers in the GD, because remember, the initial concentration point is the first 2 minutes and the last 2 minutes. Also, towards the ending, be somebody who's among the last 3-4 people who is summarizing the GD. Because remember, this is when the most importance is given. Rest of the time, just make frequent entries, but make valid pointers. Always remember, if you're making pointers which is helping the group talk about, and if others are talking more about your pointer, extending on it, it's always going to be extra brownie points for you. But at the same time, avoid giving pointers that continually distracting the people away from the main topic. Also, at the very onset of the GD or WAT, don't get into concluding mode. Conclusion is something that's supposed to flow towards the latter half of the GD or towards the latter 1/3 of the GD is when it's time to conclude. The other thing that is important, if it's a group exercise or if it's a case study, it's very important that as a group you come to a consensus, because if you don't, then the entire purpose of the group exercise or a case study gets lost. Remember, it's not just supposed to be a meeting where 5 people discuss pros, 5 people say cons, and then there is no consensus. No. In a group exercise or in a case study, it's a must that you take a consensus. If consensus is becoming difficult to arrive, at least try and work around with the people and trying and getting somebody accommodating or the other towards driving towards the consensus. That would help the entire group. The other thing is, when you're in the GD, it's important that even when you're not speaking, you're listening very actively. I see a lot of people, what they do is, when they speak very enthusiastically, but the moment they've spoken, they know that for the next 1.5 to 2 minutes, they need not speak. So all they go do is, they go back into relaxation mode. That is not the right way forward. Remember, when you're listening, you're supposed to be equally and all the more attentive in the process. At the same time, do not do things like, do not continuously cut people, but at the same time, make sure that you're getting yourself opportunities to make frequent entries. Do not indulge in what is popularly called a fish market, because that is only going to bring in more negativity, not only to you, but to the entire group who's involved in that fish market scenario. So the final thing is the personal interview round. This is the most important phase. Remember, along with your written scores, that is your CAT scores, the next most important thing is the personal interview. And this is your chance to introspect on what you're good at. And a big stage in this is the form filling thing. So right from now that you're going into form filling thing, do make sure that you're filling it wisely. And your form filling and your one more thing that you have is the tell me about yourself, which is the starting point of your interview. These are the two most important occasions where you get a chance to drive the interview in your favor. So ideally what I recommend to everybody, especially in my personalized mentoring sessions, is that everybody identifies 5-6 areas where they are most comfortable in, and they try and frame an answer on each of these areas in the form filling, as well as in the tell me about yourself. They touch upon these so that somebody gets tempted to ask a question or two from these areas. Remember, at the end of the day, the total time is limited. So the more number of questions you have from your strong areas, and the more amount of time you can keep them hooked to your strong areas, the easier interview will be. At the same time, remember, asking questions on current affairs or on your ACADS, it yields to boring answers. Why? Because answers are repetitive and same by everybody. It is more about questions which are personal to you, wherein the interviewer can expect different answers, and that is your chance to also come across as somebody who is engaging and different. So make sure you're touching upon different aspects of your life. At the same time, what I've usually observed is people who speak a lot about the extracurriculars are always at an advantage. Why? Because extracurriculars is the easiest way to come across as somebody who is interesting. So try and speak out extracurriculars more. Try and take your form filling seriously. Try and take a tell me about yourself seriously. Also, at any point of time, if the interview is going a little challenging for you, know how to make a comeback by making something which is relevant at the same time, brings the interviewer back to one of your 5-6 strong areas. This is exactly something that we'll be stressing upon a lot in the GDPI personalized mentoring initiative that I was talking about, where you'll also get to be a part of one-on-one PIs with feedback. So do make sure that you're making the most of it. You'll also get to interact with people who have converted these calls in the past years, current students, alumni, and so on of the B schools that you've got calls from. So all of them will help you shape your answers perfectly. So the idea is different people. Yes, there is some gyan which is generic to everybody, but there is some things, especially in the PI round, which is definitely only about yourself, where you highlight your strength. That is exactly where, right from the form filling stage till choosing your B school, you will be guided as part of the GDPI Personalized Mentoring Initiative by me, a CAT 100 percentiler. So how do you avail this? All you need to do is go to unacademy.com/plus, choose the 3-month subscription plan and subscribe. The sooner you subscribe, you can share your CV and so on, all your details of your forms and so on, and you can make sure you can ask your questions and you can make sure that all your answers are perfected based on your current situation. So anything that's bothering your work ex, your profile, what answers to give to behavioral questions, everything will be taken care of. But for that, you need to subscribe. You need a 3-month subscription using the discount code Nilanjan Dutta while subscribing, and send across a confirmation thing to you. So remember, to be a part of this, you have to subscribe using the discount code. It will also give you a discount while subscribing, but along with that, you get these additional features, including getting your WAT essays checked for the key topics. So getting your WAT essays checked, getting to interact with B school people or current B schoolers, getting one-on-one PIs with feedback, guidance regarding GDs, form filling, answers that are customized to yourself, which perfectly suit you. Anything that is troubling you from your ACADS or your working that you want to justify in an interview, everything gets taken care of as part of the GDPI Personal Mentoring Initiative. Remember, this is personalized for you, but this is only limited to those who use the discount code Nilanjan while subscribing. Immediately after subscribing, please share your confirmation with timestamp on the fact that you subscribed using a discount code. Share the proof of it. You can reach out via the Unacademy CAT preparation groups on Facebook, WhatsApp, and so on. Or through the app by messaging the educator, you can do that. But make sure you're using the discount code Nilanjan will subscribe, because then only this additional thing will be applicable. And make sure that you're getting set with what are the things that you want to be clarified, so that we can work on that. And this will happen over the next 3 months, including helping you choose, in case you have multiple converts, helping you choose your right B school for you based on everything is also going to be a part of it. So hope to see all of you signing up for the GDPI Personalized Mentoring Initiative. Any of your friends who wants to be as well, ask them to go to unacademy.com/plus. But remember, this is only for those who subscribe using first time or through a new account. For existing people who already subscribe to Unacademy Plus, they cannot use the discount code Nilanjan while subscribing. Only for first time or those who are using a new account to subscribe, that is for first time users, you can go for a 3-month subscription, use the discount code Nilanjan while subscribing, and share it with me, share it with me with the timestamp as to when you subscribe and the screenshot of the same, that is use the discount code Nilanjan Dutta while subscribing, and you're good to go. Note, you'll also get additional discount on doing the same. Remember, in the space Nilanjan Dutta and a discount code. So on that note, hope to see all of you signing up for the GDPI Personalized Mentoring. Do it as soon as possible so you can make the most of the next couple of months before you get into your interview start getting scheduled. On that note, thank you everybody and happy learning.